We are live. Let me share this real quick to a couple of places so people. I gotta fix my Facebook. Every time I go live, it takes the Facebook feed back to private.
Mm.
So let me fix that. Uh, uh, Welcome to the Nothing But Nugget podcast. Today I got a very special guest, my guy Chase, all the way from Cold Tooth. If you guys don't know who Chase is, you need to get very familiar with him. He is one of the guys I go to when I have questions and I need things answered. Me and my team. I think Lynn, she communicates with Chase a lot. Chase, introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are, and where you're from and what you do.
Absolutely, Antoine. Thanks again for having me on the podcast. Nothing but nuggets. Really blessed to be here today. My name is Chase Alcaraz with calltools.com. I've been with the company for about 8+ years now. And, if you need a dialer to help scale your cold calling efforts, we got one of the best tools out today. Work with a lot of investors and wholesalers, various masterminds, coaches, influencers, people that are just getting into wholesaling and those that are well established. Been going to a lot of events over the last couple of years and been lucky enough to work with some of the bigger influencers within the industry. And, we're just trying to bring a good system to help new investors and established investors maximize their calling efforts. So, we got a great system in place to help everyone out. We'll definitely answer any questions you all have and be happy to show the system as well.
Awesome. So could you summarize to the people who may not even know what Call Tools is? What is Call Tools and what are the benefits of having something like a Call Tools?
Yeah, so with Call Tools, it's a cloud-based predictive dialer. And what a cloud-based system is it's a system that you would log on to make and receive calls from your computer. Now, with cold calling these days, it's very effective. It's probably one of the number one most effective ways of generating leads and getting properties under contract. The problem with cold calling, though, is a lot of dials don't get answered. So if you're hand dialing, unfortunately, you're just not being as effective as you could with a system like ours. So what Call Tools is it's an auto dialing software. And with our system, it can dial multiple numbers at once and connect you only to live answers. So it helps agents be more effective and efficient on the phones. And it's got a bunch of other great stuff too, like a built-in CRM. It's got integration capabilities. It's got voicemail drops, text messaging. It's a really fantastic all-in-one solution.
Awesome. And what's the price point for Call Tools? Like if someone new getting started, how much would they be expecting to spend to get that product?
Yeah, so pricing, is always a big thing. Whether you're just getting into wholesaling or you're well established, you want to always, pay close attention to your budget and whatnot. Make sure you're getting good ROI. So our Call Tools pricing is $120 a month, and with the Antoine Campbell discount that we have in place, you guys will see the link going below. We can actually have a promo price, which is available for limited time at $99 per dialer needed. And once you get signed up on that price, you're locked in, you're grandfathered in. So if you haven't used our dialer yet, definitely go to the link below. We can set you up and get you a rock bottom pricing at $99 per seat, which is available.
Awesome. So let's kind of show the people like the dialer and what it does and its functionality here live on Facebook.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and share my screen, and I'll show you guys, just how intuitive our platform is. It's very user friendly. All you're going to need is a computer, a headset, and internet access. And from there, you can start making and receiving calls. So yeah, we can go ahead and run through the interface on Call Tools and answer any questions as they come up. So let me go ahead and ask to share my screen. Let's see here. All right. And let's see here. I'm not sure if you can see my screen yet.
There we go.
All right. So now you can see my screen. So what I'm going to do now is, here's our site here. So calltools.com. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and sign in and show you all the agent dashboard. And then we can also skim over the manager account. But when you get signed up with Call Tools, we'll provide you a username and password, and you can just come to our site to sign in. All that you need with our system is a computer, a headset, and internet access. You don't actually have to use your phone to dial into the system. This is very effective for those of you that may use Antoine's VA service, or you have reps that aren't working in-house, or maybe they're overseas. All they need, again, is a computer, a headset, and internet access. So we'll go ahead and sign in. And there's two parts to our system. There's the manager account, which you're seeing right here. And this is for you to oversee everything that's going on, as well as like uploading your list, creating campaigns, managing your entire system. Up here at the top right, there's an agent dashboard button. So with me, I'm a manager and an agent, so I could navigate from both parts of the system from one login. Some clients will just enable agent access for their caller, and when they log in, this is what the agent sees.
To the predictive dialer.
So pretty cool. The system will tell you you're now connected to the predictive dialer. Up here at the top, it'll tell you you're now connected. So there's no need to dial in. With some systems, you have to call into the dialer and then it connects. Our system automatically connects. All you need is like a USB headset. So I have a headset. I can plug it into my computer. You could also use like a Bluetooth or wireless headset, but the wired headset always works really well. You can get those, pretty inexpensive. What you'll notice here is there's a built-in dial pad. So that's pretty cool. The system has a built-in phone. So all you do is literally log in, put your headset on, and from there, you'll have some campaigns set up. So I know, with Antoine and all the investors, you get different list sources, different lead types. So you can create multiple campaigns, and those will be down here for you or your agent to call on. And the really cool thing about our system is all your agent does is join a campaign. So over here, I have a campaign. I just click Join Campaign. The system will start dialing, and as soon as someone picks up, this is what will pop up. So this contact card popping up, that just means that the prospect has said hello, and now I'm on a live call, and I'm just going to go into my pitch. Hi, I'm looking for Magali. My name is Chase. Sorry, this is out of the blue, but I was calling about a home I believe you own at 201 Southwest 129th Avenue in Miami. So you can have a script for your agent to follow along to. I know Antoine's got some gold nuggets when it comes to cold calling scripts, as well as, there's a lot of good information all across the web on cold calling. So you can upload a script for your agent to view. And then over here on this contact card would have their information. So like name, address, phone number, email address, and you just go into that pitch and start qualifying the lead. Now, the cool thing about our system is we have this Zillow connector. So as I get on a call with this person, I can see their property. I can see, okay, this is a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom home. I can see the square footage. So I could start to communicate with the seller. I know a bit about their property. And I just go through my script, or you just start to qualify the lead. And then you can type up notes in this section here. So there is a built-in CRM, and we can also integrate our platform with Podio, as well as other CRM platforms. I know a lot of clients using Investor Fuse, REI Blackbook, and various other platforms. So we do have integrations in place. Now, as your rep's on the call, they're qualifying the lead. They type up notes in this section. They can schedule callback appointments. They could pick appointment dates, appointment times. They could even set up various appointment types so you can get appointment reminders. There's also the ability to send and receive, send emails out. So once you have a qualified lead, you can click to send them information. And then once the call's done, you would just disposition the call. And this box will actually pop up and it'll allow you to select a call outcome. So that way you can track all your leads. So like yes, wants offer, not interested, maybe, call back, appointment set. The dispositions are good because we can actually set up a notification to send a manager an alert. So for example, if you have some VAs calling for you, they find an interested seller, they select yes, wants offer, we can actually make it send you an email alert. I know Antoine likes that feature. You know, if you're out on the road.
Yeah, I love the email alert feature.
Yeah, then you get that leads details. You know, okay, we got some business brewing, and you know, you can always be alert. Even when you're not on the system, you got someone working for you. You can still be in the loop that you got leads being generated. And you know, once that call's done, you just save and resume, and it'll go back to calling. A few other cool things too is with our system, we also have texting capabilities. So your rep can go ahead and do a text directly from the system. You can also have a script. And what you'll see here on this script is it autofills with the prospect's name. It can autofill with the property address. So for example, hi, I'm looking for Magali. My name is Chase. I was calling about a home I believe you own at, and then it has the address. I'm actually looking to buy a home in the neighborhood and wanted to see if you thought about selling or would consider an offer. Something real simple, but you can actually have this go out based off of hitting like a voicemail. It fires off a text message. So that's really cool. We got inbound, outbound texting capabilities. With text messages, there's a small fee. It's $0.015 per message. So 1.5 cents per text message. Very affordable though. I know other systems charging 4 to 5 cents per text message. Again, ours is just 1.5 cents. And then once that call's done, again, you just hit save and resume. The contact card will close and it'll go back to calling. Now, some other cool things about call tools is we are set up for inbound calls too. So instead of having all the calls go back to, you know, your main business line or your cell phone, you can actually have your agent taking inbound calls on the platform. So if someone had called back, it'll pop up with their information on an inbound call like this you see here. And now I could go ahead and answer the call. And now I'm on a live call with this prospect. So that's pretty cool. And then, you know, I can go in, qualify the lead, say, hey, Chase, thanks for giving me a call. And I can go right back into my pitch and qualify them. And then again, once the call's done, I would just disposition the call, hit save and resume, and then I go back to calling. So the whole idea with our system is to make cold calling easy. You know, get your list uploaded, put on a headset, and smile and dial. There's some other cool features on the manager account we can go over, but that's kind of how the agent dashboard works. Pretty straightforward stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So anybody can, like, you know, no matter what early in, is the call tools like IP restricted? You know, we work with a lot of agents or Filipinos or VAs. Does their IP address interfere with the ability to log into call tools?
Very rarely, very rarely. So yeah, as long as they have a username and password, they should be able to get onto the system without any issues. In some cases, their IP may have a restriction, but we can usually assist with that. I see that happen very rarely, but sometimes, you know, we can help the agent and check like their firewall on their computer. Some cases, you know, it may need to be disabled, but you know, for the most part, they shouldn't be running into any issues with their IP addresses.
Right.
Yeah. Some other cool things about our system too. You know, you got the texting, and you're calling through your list. In some cases, they don't always pick up on the first attempt. So another feature that I really like to show clients is our Redial Rules. So maybe I'll just run through that real quick. When you're setting up your account, you can actually create a Redial template. And what you do is under the campaign section, you can create a rule. And with these rules, you can actually set up some workflows. And let's just say, for example, I call a lead and it's a no answer. Just because it's a no answer doesn't mean it'll be a no answer on the second or third attempt. So what we can do is create some rules and say no answer first attempt, call back, let's say 15 minutes. No answer second attempt, call back 30 minutes. No answer third attempt, call back. Or you know what, in this scenario, let's just send them a text message. So no answer first attempt, no answer second attempt, third attempt, you know what, we're going to hit them with a text message.
And these are multiple touches you're doing within the same campaign.
Exactly. You know, sometimes, you know, people won't pick up the first ring. So they're like, I don't know who this person is. I'm not going to pick up. You call them again. They may not pick up the second time. The third time, they're going to say, okay, who the hell's calling me? You know, or they'll just go into the say, hey, yeah, how you doing? And that's the thing. You want to really touch your leads multiple times. You know, they may not pick up the first time, maybe a busy signal, a voicemail, a no answer, but you can set up some workflows so the system's calling them again. And that way you can try to get them on that second or third touch. So that's
is there a way I can build my entire conveyor belt using call tools such as, say, for example, we do a cold call. Then, like you said, there's no answer. We can send a text message, and then maybe they didn't answer the text message. We can follow through with a RVM, straight through call tools.
Yeah. So the way our system works is it can call, and then send a text message. Once you've gone through your list, then you'll want to recycle it and go through it again. You can set up like an auto drop for voicemails. So if it reaches a voicemail, it leaves a message. And then also has the text message. But yeah, the workflows would be basically if there's a no answer, a voicemail, a busy signal, we can set up a rule to keep filtering that back into the queue to get dialed again. And you just basically set how long you want it to wait.
Now, one question that I got that I couldn't answer the other day was someone said, what happens when I download your East or Skip Tracing Company and they provided me 3 numbers? Do we supposed to call all 3 numbers at one time, or how do we set up making sure that the system does dial the 3 numbers?
That's a good question. So when you upload the list, we basically have a formula that will add to your list, and it'll upload it so that all numbers can get dialed. Now, instead of calling all 3 numbers at once, what our system will do is it'll blend the list. So it'll call through like the first numbers across your whole list, and then it starts to filter in the second numbers and the third numbers. The reason it does this is because you don't want to bombard someone with like 5 calls all at once or 10 calls all at once. Right. Then you got pissed off people. What a lot of clients do tend to see, and it's not uncommon, probably about 85, 90% of your dials, unfortunately, they're not always answered on the first attempt. So that's why you can crank up the speed, have it dial through the list, and it'll get to those live answers as they're picking up. And then that leads info will pop up. You can go into qualifying them. Once it's qualified, you can push the correct leads over to your CRM, or you can disposition them in our platform.
And what are some things that they can do from the ownership standpoint to ensure the cold callers are not cheating, such as just straight burning through the calls?
Exactly. Yeah. That's really important, especially like this day and age. I'd say, half of our clients, if not more, are using virtual assistants to do their calling. And one of the big things with that is, they're overseas, they, potentially could say they're calling, but do you really know if they're calling? Are you being able to, track what they're doing? So that's a big thing with our system is we do have live agent monitoring, which is one of the probably the coolest features of our system. And with that, what I'll do is I'll go to our report section. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to our live agent report. So what's going to happen is right now, I have 2 screens over here. So let's just say person's on a call. My phone's ringing right now, so I'll go ahead and answer that. So right now, what you can see here is that my agent is actually on an outbound call. And then there's this call details, and I can actually click on this number and it'll pull up the contact card, and I can see, okay, this rep's talking to Chase right now. So I can actually see who they're speaking to. I can see their total calls, their transfers, their sales, or we can do it for like leads generated. And then there's this monitor button right here. So with the live monitor, you can actually listen in on your live calls. So there's a spy option. I can spy on my rep. I'm listening in on the call. I'm seeing how they're sounding. The agent or the prospect doesn't know I'm on the call. Then I have the whisper option. The whisper is going to allow me to speak with my agent without the prospect hearing. So maybe I give them some advice, tell them they're doing really good, ask them this, mention this. And that's really good for training purposes. And then there's even a barge in option. And with the barge in, you can actually join the call. So you can tell them, hey, you know what? You're doing great. Let them know you're going to get your boss on the line, your acquisition manager. They're going to jump on and join you. And you can actually tap into calls and start talking. All you would need is a headset hooked up to your computer, and you're good to go from there. So that's one of the big things is the live agent monitoring. A lot of our clients, really like that feature. Another thing too is within our system, you can go to our report section. We have agent status reports, so like their available time, their post-call time. Post-call is when they hang up a call and then they get going to the next call before they hit save and resume. What you want to really see is minimal post-call time. They shouldn't be taking more than like a minute, if that even, to wrap up a call and say, okay, I'm ready to go to the next call. So post-call time, you want to see that to be a minimum. And what's pretty cool is with our system, you can see the average post-call time. So if your rep's taking 5 minutes in between calls to wrap up a call, like, hey, what's going on here? You're taking a long time to wrap up your calls and get onto the dialer for the next call. And then some other cool things too is within our reports, we have our agent connect stacks. So you can actually see your agent's average length of call. So you can really determine how much time they're actually spending on each call. You can see their total talk time. And then you can also see their wait time average. So you can know like, okay, my agent is only spending 30 seconds in between calls. That's great. Minimal wait time in between calls, very little downtime. If you see the wait time getting really high, like maybe my list isn't good, or maybe I need to speed up the dialer to get them on more live calls. The system can dial up to 10 numbers at once. Doesn't mean you have to dial 10. You can set it to dial maybe 3 at once to start, and then just speed it up as needed.
So what are some good rule of thumb as far as like KPIs? Like, say for example, someone don't even want to go through my VA service, but they just want to know what are some good standards when it comes to the call durations and the wait times and all of that stuff.
Yeah, so like one of the things that you really want to see is like when you're dialing, ideally you want to keep it below a minute in between each live call. So wait time in between calls, if you can keep that, at or below a minute, you're doing really good because that means you're spending minimal downtime in between calls. With our system, it's not uncommon for a client to be able to do around 30 plus live calls an hour. So I would say, that's a good goal to have is like 30 live calls an hour. If you can do more than that, that's fantastic. It will take into consideration, the amount of time each call lasts. So if you have a good conversation, your total calls may go down, but that takes us to talk time. If you can get your rep to have, 25, 30 minutes of talk time an hour, that means they're spending at least half that hour talking to actual prospects, you're going to get some good results.
So on a 4-hour shift, hypothetically, what do you think is a good amount of leads they should be able to call through a normal traditional list, not nothing crazy, and as well as the amount of talk time you think that you should be able to see?
Yeah, so like on a 4-hour shift, I would say, if they're getting close to 2 hours of talk time on that shift, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's really good. And, with that being said, they could probably dial upwards of like 600 plus leads over that time. And, hopefully talk to, at least, 120, 150 prospects, actual live calls.
That's awesome. I got a question here. Let me see. Let's go answer a few questions first. Virginia, she's one of the people in my deal mastery program. She said, "How do you get alerts on your phone when contact is updated again?"
Yeah.
I think it's
So,
an email. It don't come straight to your phone, dude. It's not a
well,
text message.
it's an email alert, and if you got Gmail on your smartphone, which we all do for the most part, or some of those that are Yahoos, you'll get that alert. So it's an email alert, and if you have a Call Tools account, there's an internal CRM tab right here at the top left. You click CRM, you go to Settings, and in the settings we have some options here, but there's one that's called Custom Events. And the custom events are really cool. So what you do is you create a new event, and the event is saying, okay, when a disposition is made, and you can customize your dispositions, but maybe that's like appointment set or yes wants offer. You have it issue an email alert, and the disposition trigger, I pick which disposition I want. So like yes wants offers. So yes wants offer, I want it to send a notification, and I just select my email. Or I can put, whatever email I want.
Could you add multiple emails to send out to?
You can. So like if you and then your acquisition manager and then your lead manager, if you want everyone in the loop, you can put as many emails as you want there, and then they'll receive that alert. And then you can make the email subject whatever you'd like, new hot lead, and a bunch of exclamation points. So now I have this event set up, and it's going to actually just send me an email alert as soon as I have a new hot lead. So that's how you do that. You go to CRM, settings, custom events. With these custom events, you can also have it send the prospect an email. So let's just say they say, yes, I'm interested in an offer. Maybe you have a really cool template saying like, hey, thanks for your interest in a cash offer on your property. We're going to reach out to you within 24 hours for, an offer. If you need to reach us, give us a call at this number. You can set up a template. So as soon as the lead's generated, that prospect now receives an email with your info. And that way, you're already getting them some more information about you. So you can have it send an email to the prospect. You can also have it drip the lead into a new campaign if you wanted.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mo asks, can you explain how to avoid being tagged as spam likely?
Mr. Mo, that's a good question. So when you use a dialer, really there's no way you can't prevent it from happening. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And more often than not, it does happen. And the reason this happens is because mobile carriers have set up algorithms to determine if one number is doing too many dials. So if you have one person, they do 1,000 calls a day, they might say, you know what, that's kind of suspicious. Not one person can dial that fast. So the way you can prevent it from happening is you set up multiple caller IDs. So anyone that's doing cold calling, instead of having one number, you should really try to have 3, 5 phone numbers in rotation. So with our system, if I go over here to PBX caller IDs or caller ID groups, for example, I can create a caller ID group. Now I have a bunch of caller IDs here. When you sign up with us, you might not have any caller IDs. So you could either purchase them, or you can go through a company like CallRail, or anywhere you can get phone numbers. But I can create a caller ID group, and I can say, okay, I'm going to have this 3 caller ID group. And what happens is I save that. And now when I go to my campaigns, what I can do is in my campaign setting, instead of having a caller ID type with a single number, I actually set up a caller ID group. And I do, for example, group random. And with a group random, it's going to rotate through the 3 numbers automatically. And that's going to lower the chance of my number getting flagged. Because now instead of one number doing 1,000 dials, now I have one number looking as if it's doing 300 dials, or so across the course of the day. So
nice. I didn't even know that part. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so that's how you're going to do that. You can also set up with our system here under caller IDs. We have a tool here. Check if this caller ID is flagged as a robocaller. So you can actually see in real time if it's flagged, and you can know like, okay, I want to disable that number. There's also an ability up here in my company settings where I can set up a option to disable flagged caller IDs automatically. So if I check this box, let's just say I have 5 caller IDs, one of them gets flagged, it can automatically disable that from the outbound calls. Yeah, exactly.
That's dope. I like that. So yeah, I think Lamb might have to have another one-on-one session with you to ensure that we are plans like that, because I like that.
We can definitely do that. Absolutely.
Someone said my abandon rate is so high, 30%.
With the abandonment rate, it's one of those things where you have to really weigh the pros and cons of an abandoned call. So sometimes, when you're dialing multiple numbers at once, you have more than one answer, and that becomes an abandoned call. So generally, if you have a high abandonment rate, that means you're dialing too fast. So your list is hitting good. You're getting a lot of live answers. So what you're going to want to do is slow the campaign down. So in your campaign settings, as a manager, I could come in and it says campaign type in speed. And you're usually going to be on the power dial. And as you can see right here, it's set to 10. Now, when clients start, I would always suggest starting out at like 3 to 4 calls going out at once. And then you can speed it up or slow it down. When your abandonment rate's high, you want to slow it down a little. When your abandonment rate's really low and then you're having a long wait time in between calls, you're going to want to speed it up. Now, what I do suggest to all clients is when you have your campaign set up, those abandonment calls are really good because the person picked up. So you want to make sure you filter those back into the campaign. And that takes us back to the redial template, because you can set up a rule and say, okay, if I have an abandoned call it back, and maybe like within 5 minutes. So it filters it back into the queue immediately. Maybe you don't want to call it back right then. Maybe you spread it out, give them a call back in 15 minutes or 30 minutes. But set up a redial rule so that abandoned call gets filtered back into the campaign. And you want to do that like same day, usually pretty quickly, because if you call them back again, the answer percentage is still going to be very high.
Right. That's awesome. Because I think I agree with that, because calling someone back the same day. What about, say, for example, we're using CallRail for outside campaigns that we didn't dial from call tools. Is there a way that we can just have them numbers forward to our call tools while they're dialing?
Yes, you can. So that's a great question. So with our system, what you can do is set up inbound queues. And I really like our inbound queues because you can label this based off of like your marketing, where your marketing is. So like what you'll see here is I have for example, a Google AdWords queue, I have Bandit sign queue, I have a Craigslist queue, a ringless voicemail queue, a mailer queue. And what you'll do is you'll want to get a phone number from Call Tools. So you can purchase a local number directly from our system. So let's just say I come in here and I purchase a phone number. You pick the area code and then you choose the number. And we have those available. Our SMS enabled numbers are $3. Our basic local numbers without texting are $2 a month. But what you do is you set the destination type where you want the call to route to. In this case, a queue. So what you would do is on CallRail, you would set up the call to forward to the number you bought on our system. And then that way, when a call comes in, it'll pop up with a notification, inbound call mailer or inbound call Craigslist ad. And now your agent can pick up those inbound calls, even though they're generated through other avenues of marketing.
Awesome.
Yeah. Another cool thing too with our system, and you can do this on some other platforms as well, but you can set up an IVR, and under our PBX section, there's the IVR option. And let's just say, you have a mailer, for example. Call comes into the IVR. It says, hey, thanks for giving us a call. If you're interested in selling a home and getting a cash offer, press 1 now. So when they press 1, now I'm going to have this route over to my agent on the system. Or maybe since they pressed 1, I want that just to go straight to my cell phone. So you can pick out basically where you want the call to route to. And then let's say, if you're not interested, press 9 to be removed from the list. Now I can have it go to like a DNC, do not call IVR, puts them on the do not call list. But the IVRs are really cool because I could screen some of those calls, because when you're doing, thousands of calls daily, you're going to get a lot of callbacks. Sometimes they're just going to be, hey, why'd you call me? Sometimes a tool like this can help screen some of those inbound calls, so you're only talking to those that are actually qualified and potentially interested.
Right. Someone asked a long question. I didn't get a chance to read it yet. Hey, what's up, guys? I have a question. I have call tools and it's great, but will the system have a more simple way to upload a list with spreadsheets and the formula?
Yeah, so right now you have to add a short formula to your Excel sheet prior to upload. We're coming out with a feature. We're just about starting to beta test it. So there is an extra step. When you upload your Excel sheet, you do have to add that formula. It is on the horizon, though, where we're going to have a simple upload where you don't have to add that to your Excel sheet. So, just be patient with us. We'll have that release here, hopefully in the next month or two. In the meantime, if you need assistance, you can always contact myself or reach out to our support team, and we'll jump on a screen share with you, show you how to upload the list, and make sure it's done properly.
What are some things that Call Tools is working on that you can tell us exclusively? Is anything that y'all got cooking up back there, or what you see is what you get?
Yeah, so we got some new updates on the horizon. They're really going to be game changers. We're expanding on our CRM, where everyone has an external CRM, but our thought process is to expand on our CRM so much so that you won't need an external CRM. So there's going to be some really cool updates that are going to allow you to manage your data, manage your KPIs a lot better. So we're doing a full update on our CRM over the next few months. We're actually starting to beta test it. Once that goes live, everyone will be switched to the new updated version. So that's going to help out a lot. We're also going to make it so you can DNC a contact based off of, like, maybe you don't want them to get a text message, but you still want to call them. Or maybe you want to call them, but you don't want to text them. So you can DNC them from certain ways of being contacted. So that's going to help out. And then we're also going to make it so that you can actually run, at this time, you can only click to send emails. But we're going to make it so that, okay, a person hasn't been contacted within so much time, send them an email or send them a text message. So more drip campaigns.
That's nice.
That stuff's going to be released here in the coming months, and it's really going to be a game changer. Once that's released, no one's going to be able to touch Call Tools.
I agree. That's why I like to work with the best, right? I was sitting back evaluating. I was currently working with $1, and then when you guys approached me and I looked at it, the minute you say, yeah, you can listen to your VA's call in real time, you know how much of a difference that is when it comes to training? That's amazing. Instead of waiting until after the recording and then go back and say, this is what you should have did, but in real time, you can correct things, man. It helps create a better interactive training, in my opinion.
Exactly. When you start telling the rep what they did wrong or what they did right after that initial call, and it's fresh on their mind, it's gonna really carry weight, and they're gonna be able to improve drastically on that next call. So yeah. And that's the thing, you give your agent a tool to make calls and stuff, but if you don't train them and they don't produce for you, that's more so, not always on the agent, it's more so on the manager. So if
Exactly.
you take the time to train your VAs and, you give them a script and you coach them, and constructive criticism, anyone could really be successful as long as they, you put in the time to help them out.
Right. So, is there any trainings that you guys have, like pre-recorded? There may be someone who's signed up for Call Tools while they're waiting to be onboarded can kind of like look around to see how the entire system works.
Yes. So I know that I've made like a quick start video for clients. So whenever they sign up, I include like a 20-minute quick start video. I encourage all clients to watch that because it really just goes through the system. Now, when you get started with Call Tools, the 3 things that you're going to want to do is add a caller ID. So you log in, you say, okay, let me add in a caller ID, because you can't make any calls without having a phone number. So you put in a phone number. If you don't have a phone number, you purchase a phone number. Once you purchase a phone number, you really just go to campaigns, and then you create a campaign. And up here at the top right, it says create campaign. And there's an advanced setup. When you first get started, do the express setup, because all it's going to ask you is title your campaign, test campaign. And what you'll notice is it asks you for your caller ID. You pick the number that you loaded in there. And then there's scrubbing options. So like federal DNC scrubbing, if you want, you can enable or disable that. If you want to avoid calling someone that's on a do not call registry, keep that checked. Just be aware that sometimes we'll block a majority of your leads. So it's one of those things you got to weigh the benefits over the risk of calling people on the DNC. And then you turn on your call recording and you save and attach leads. So to get up and running with call tools, all you got to remember is set up a caller ID, create a campaign, and save and attach your leads. So if you do those 3 steps, you can actually get up and running, within like 5 to 10 minutes. But
how far back do you guys save the call recording?
That's a really good question. So if you go to our call logs, this is where all of our calls are stored, and we actually store our calls for up to 60 days. And the reason why we store them for 60 days and not beyond, like we guarantee them for 60 days, but beyond 60 days, what happens is our servers, they get bogged down with so many recordings. So we have to remove them to ensure optimal performance on the platform. Right. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to download your recordings when you have good calls. You want to save those so you can download those. And then also what you're going to want to do is, if you need recordings longer than that, set up a Dropbox account. Or if you have your own server, but most common is a Dropbox account. And a Dropbox account, you can actually set it up to, you can set it up to store your recordings for years. I think Dropbox is like a couple bucks a month. And that way you can have, your recordings backed up for as long as you need it.
Yeah, I had both. I had Dropbox, and then I got Google Suite, the business one. That one comes with like 1 terabyte, like $10 a month. I think.
Exactly, and a terabyte. You'll have recordings for years, and they'll be backed up there. So that's always good to have.
So what's the timeline from them filling out, coming on the site, filling out the form to get signed up to actually being able to dial? What's the timeline you think it would take someone?
Yeah, so what you guys are going to want to do is you're going to want to go to calltools.com/Antoine Campbell. And by doing that, you're going to have access to fill out your information to get your account set up. So once you fill out that form, I should be able to get you access to the system within about 30 minutes. And then from there, what we'll do is we'll get you scheduled for an onboarding call. So on that onboarding call, we'll show you how to use the system. Again, we have a quick start guide to help you get up and running. So if you use the quick start guide, you can get your account going, and you could probably have someone dialing within about 30 minutes. The onboarding call, those are held daily. So if you're already signed up, you're needing further assistance with the system, let's get you scheduled for an additional training. We want all clients to go through our initial webinar training, and that's going to cover the basics to get you set up. On average, we're bringing on 30 to 50 clients a day. So we have a lot of, customers coming on board. So we can't do like a dedicated one-on-one training right off the bat with everyone. But after you go through that initial training, if you need help on specific things, you call us, we'll assist you one-on-one. But I would say after you fill out the form, myself or one of our other sales reps will reach out to you. We'll get you signed up. We'll get you access to the system within about 30 minutes, and then we'll schedule you for that onboarding call.
Nice. That's awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Call tools. My guy Chase, he's a good friend. And they're good people over there. I usually don't get behind a lot of products. In fact, I turned down 4 products in the last 2 months. Because if I don't personally use it and don't believe in it, I'm not going to recommend it to anyone. So if you're thinking about scaling and getting to the next level, if you're manually dialing right now, or if you're using a different type of dialer, consider switching over to Call Tools. We'll lock you in at an awesome rate. I think it's $99 a month per user with the Antoine Campbell rate. And you don't have to worry about now. The reason why I switched from Call Tools because I was with another competitor, and they was nickel and diming me for everything. They was charging me for the call recording feature. They was charging me for the manager feature, and we forgot to even tell you, you can have as many managers, to my knowledge, on your account free of charge. So, say for example, if you want to hire someone, or your wife or your sister, brother wanted to step in to listen to the calls for you, so you can train your team up. It's definitely an awesome way to get these people trained up. And guys, even if you're watching, you're not in real estate, you can use this if you're a roofing contractor, you're a real estate agent, you are an insurance broker. If you just need to make a lot of outbound calls, this tool is definitely something for you. As a VA company, we're starting to take on more broader clients, and this is one of the products that we're recommending that they must have.
Yeah, and we're very confident in the system. We've put it up against anyone. If you need a good VA too, I will say Antoine's VAs have been killing it for a lot of clients. So definitely, if you want to maximize your calling efforts, internally, definitely get on the system. We'll help you be successful. I had a client call me today. He said, "Hey Chase, can I pay for the year up front because I just got a listing under contract?" So unfortunately, we don't do paid in fulls, but we will provide you a tool that's going to help you get to that next lead, get that,
Right.
first deal and many deals. And,
Right.
myself and Antoine, we want you all to be successful, no doubt about it.
That's awesome, man. So if people want to reach out to you, what's the quickest and easiest way for them
So
to reach out to you?
if you use the link, thecalltools.com/Antoine Campbell, that'll notify me that you need help. I'll contact you. You can also email chase@calltools.com. And I'll respond to the email and I'll give you a call. If you email me, just be sure to give me your contact phone number. I'm checking my emails constantly, and we'll help you get up and running right away. So I'd say email me, chase@calltools.com. I'll send you all my contact info. We'll help you get up and running right away.
And thank you so much for taking time out your busy schedule to show people the powerful tool as far as cold calling and outbound calls. Until next time, I catch you later. Hopefully, we have a date for Drip really soon, so Call Tools can come on out and give a live on stage presentation to the audience.
Awesome, Antoine. Thank you so much. Blessed to be here, and always happy that we can work with you.
Oh, thank you. Talk to you later, buddy.
All right, take care.
You too.
All right.